But we have a great offshore business, global offshore business. We have some fantastic projects in Europe, in Scotland. We're also building some projects in France. These are very profitable projects, very competitive. This is a partnership we also have with Engie. It's called Ocean Wind, so that's our offshore business. In the US, we also have some projects on the East Coast and also on the West Coast. They are still in the development phase. We are very optimistic that we will work through, or that the sector will work through these difficulties that they are having, which in some cases are very company specific. In our case, I think we have a lot of optionality and a lot of upside. So I continue to believe that renewables has tremendous potential. There's a lot of demand for renewable energy. There's a very strong political support, both in the US and in Europe. And it's important not only to continue that growth in offshore, but also in other sources of renewable energy. Because of energy security, energy independence, now more than ever, because of affordability, it's typically the cheapest source of energy. And also, obviously, decarbonization. We're coming up to the COP28, and I think that's going to be also a major issue on the table.
These offshore wind projects, though, in the United States, very key to powering cities from Boston to New York. There is a fear, though, that the industry is broken. Are you saying you're not seeing those issues in your business, that the profitability is still there?
I think if you look at the medium, long-term trend, offshore is going to continue to be a critical part of the decarbonization of the economy, whether it's in Europe or in the US or elsewhere in the world. And so you have the ability to scale up at relatively competitive costs, sort of the offshore wind. There's obviously been hiccups, there have been issues. Most of those are company specific, to one of our competitors. If you look at our projects, which are based off Massachusetts, also the New York Bight, we also have a project in California. As I say, those are still in the early stages of development. We're still very optimistic about the possibility to deploy those projects and to invest in those projects. At the moment, they're still early stage, so we haven't taken an investment decision yet. But just based on some data points that have come out, that was recently announced, for example, a PPA at $145 per megawatt hour, I think that's a good data point. That's a level of price which would make viable sort of these projects. So we continue to be optimistic in the medium long term.